that's important. And also in the machine, once it's set up one way, when it's auto set, it should set up that way. But if it's different than what this head form says, then we need to make sure that we put it on the back so that customer service gets it and puts it on here on the sheet. Okay? And Ed, it's important that the reason why I asked you to come in, it's important for you to know these steps too. Okay? No, understand the flow. All right, so folding a box. There's a box. Everybody kind of grab a box, kind of go through folding it and what we're looking for. Go ahead. So when you guys folded it up, go ahead and fold up the box. So what you're looking for is that it's folding up correctly. The slots aren't too wide. Anything to add to this, please jump in. That the print is centered on the panels. And you want to make sure that when you're looking at it, that the print is centered on the panels. The print registration is good. That there's not too big of a gap, and we're not overlapping. Jaime, are we getting a lot with overlapping?
No, we're not so much. We did have a case. It should not overlap. It should lock up pretty flush.
Yeah. So what we're looking for is you're pushing that down, that it's good, and the gap is not over 3/16. That's what we have. If that gap, yeah, that's our spec. So you're looking at it. You're looking for, say, this here. You want it to be centered on this body here. You don't want it too far to the left or too far to the right, unless the print card shows too far to the right, too far to the left. You're looking for those kind of things. Okay. What I see just looking at this box, it's a little bit over. Yeah, you gotta bump it this way a little bit. Okay. So you're just making sure that those, and these here too, they don't want a bunch of large pieces of junk falling into the box. So you're looking for that too. All right, so as you're looking at your box, I can already see some print registration issues. So, right, you guys are spotting that, right? Yeah, okay. So those are the things that you're looking for, and I purposely grabbed some of these things so that you guys can see that and what you're looking for. Skew. What?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I noticed this when we were running this the other day, and I questioned it. Yeah, this has also. So, see the knuckle, see the knuckle. Not too good storage.
Yes, I do.
It should color through.
Yeah. So if you're out of register, we want to make sure we get it dialed into register. Okay. So that's something that you guys, when you do a box check, you're folding it up, taking a look at it, making sure. And this is every time you're going every other bar or every other bundle, or every other pallet, you're grabbing a box, folding it up, making sure that everything looks right, that it's functional, that it's folding up right, and also you're tearing it apart. Now, when you pull a sample right off the line, you're not going to check the glue right away because you need to cure a little bit. But maybe that. Once you run another pallet, you're going to go ahead and pull it apart and make sure that you got good bond. Okay? So all my samples that I get in these bins, they should actually be torn apart, folded back, and bundled back together, knowing that I know that you guys are doing your quality checks. You're checking the glue bond, right? So like I said, you're not gonna pull one off and check it right then, the glue on it. You're gonna look inside to see if there's any glue in there, and just a little hairpin prick is enough to cause those case erectors to jam up. Yep. Because it's an automatic thing, it'll pull them apart, and if it can't pull them apart because of that little glue prick in there, sometimes it's just, that's all it takes. So you need to make sure that there's no glue inside that block.
That dot of glue also can give you a false glue bond on your glue tab. So it's important you separate the entire glue tab, because you have a couple spots of that glue drops, and we have that issue, and it looks like you're having a good bond, but you won't know until you're and it happens. You're always going to miss glue lines. Yeah. The glue, it dries up, it closes up.
And these machines are equipped with sensors, alarms, and you guys hear them going off. That's when, if you get that alarm going off, we need to make sure we segregate that and get it clean. If it goes off and then it comes back where it turns off, that bundle, we need to segregate that bundle, pull it off to the side, go through it, and make sure that it doesn't get to the customer. We need to make sure that it's properly plugged, okay? Anything to add to that as far as the alarm going off, segregating that bundle?
Well, you just always got to keep checking. You don't risk everything on that alarm. Sometimes it'll miss. Sometimes you might forget to hit set, and then that's it. You're running.
So this glue, is it basically like Elmer's glue?
Yeah.
So, like on the disco, it has 3 heads on my glue. I mean, is 2 acceptable?
No, you should have 3 lines of line.
Okay. Well, no, I'm talking about how sometimes, like even now, like it's running and the alarm goes off, and and I'm looking, and sometimes it's like missing a little bit, but then it goes back on.
Yeah, but we have to address it. Yeah, you can, if they're bond good, we can let them go, but we gotta stop and fix it. We can't continue to have the 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 lines. We have to stop and fix it.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Okay, we were doing a job yesterday, I forgot the name of it. It was blue and gray. It had a blue band that went all the way around the box. What kind of tolerance are you looking at the crossover at the blue joint? Of the band being off?
I mean, if the plates are made right and it's not skewing right, it should line up. I mean, it shouldn't.
Because it was moving around a little bit.
Yeah, you'll have like a 16 to an 8.
That's what in the industry, I think most people say 16.
16?
Of jump. If I'm speaking out of turn, let me know. But it's a 16th is what we have as far as
For the tolerance?
Yeah, tolerance.
On
On the gap though, on the folding, your major flaps though, we have 3/16 is what's written in our.
Is the widest?
Yes.
Yes.
What's the terminology on that? Where you have a band? I refer to it as crossover. That's
Are you talking about where it's
Yeah,
lining up? Yeah. I don't know. You're talking about where the glue.
Where the glue is off.
I'm not really print. There's a bar across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it glued.
Because I'm finding a lot of different terminology in coordination.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to answer that unless you want to answer that. I don't know what the terms that they use. But if you see at the glue where they meet, the glue joint, if it meets and it's way off, it's either skew, bad skew, and we have to put a block in there to straighten it out, or
the plates are made wrong.
Or the plates, yeah. So we definitely, if it's way out of whack, then try them out, get a hold of your supervisor.
It was fluctuating a little bit.
Yeah. If you see it bouncing around a little bit, then that's just it's just making sure that we can. I don't know if speed might be an issue. Probably not. I hate to talk that in front of the production manager. But anyway, all right.
Speed.
It's never speed. Okay, so slot, SKU, print registration, glue, color, and Ludox. Making sure that you guys, when you fold it up, that you're checking that the Ludox is registered correctly. All right, and you're throwing it under the blue light and making sure that it's there. Okay.
I have a question on the registration, because sometimes, you know, they're not perfectly registered, you know, I mean, but the box still looks fine. You know, kind of like this one here is a little bit off, you know.
Yeah, you always want to look at the print. Sometimes the targets aren't going to be made. Sometimes you're bumming a plate from another job. The
Right.
targets aren't always going to be 100%.
Yeah, I noticed that they have to tape them because they won't lock down because
Yeah.
they're too small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, most of the time, especially on that machine, you don't run anything that really traps each other.
Right.
So you won't even
Notice
notice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they should be pretty close, tight.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty.
Yeah.
All right. So this collecting wine box samples. Work instructions. I'll just kind of go over it with you guys. Wine box samples are to be pulled throughout the run. Each sample is to be fully inspected for quality and function. The machine operator will check for functionality of the box, ensuring the glue joints are not skewed, flaps do not overlap, and flap gap does not exceed 3/16. That's what I was talking about there. Okay. The machine operator will then check the placement of the print on the box and the registration of the print, ensuring all print aspects match the approved print card. The machine operator will then check color. The Delta E reading are to be written. I know it says printed, but we're not printing it out and putting it on the box. You guys are going to be writing it on there. You guys understand what I mean by writing it on there?
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting that information on that square. Okay. Okay. So that has to be cleared up, and he's going to work on that.
Oh, she tried.
She did? All right. All right. So I'm going to stop it right there. So when you do your check and you're checking these colors, this one I actually checked. Nobody checked the red. But that information that you get when you're checking, you're going to put that information in these boxes. Okay.
And this is very critical. This is our insurance. It's not just collecting samples, but it's our insurance. Honestly, when I came here, I came 4 or 5 months ago. I tried to abandon this. I was like, "What the heck are you guys doing? Piling boxes?" Well, it was out of control. We had boxes everywhere. No one was monitoring, keeping track. Dale does a good job. Even he does a little bit more beyond even cleaning them up, organizing what Daniel's guys should be doing. But you know, we're monitoring now, and when a customer calls and says, "Hey, I got problems with this order," what do we got? 40–50% of these boxes go to Mexico, or well, honestly, it's like probably 60–80% go to Mexico. Ones go Monterrey, Mexico. The other ones go to what do you call it, Mexicali, or yeah, across the border. And if they have a bad boxes, we don't know. We can't see them from here, right? So what we depend on is on these boxes, samples that I pulled out. So normally Dale gets a message now, email, and you know, saying pull samples for orders so and so. And what Dale does is he goes check, make sure if it's a color issue, Delta E, we have to sign off, and then he can say, look, on our end it looks good, or hey, you know what, we do have an issue, and that's why it's important we have these samples.
This is one that we just got a call on. Well, maybe not just, but he's got the Delta E on here. 146 obviously came right in there, but he wrote it on here. He told me it came off of pallet number 2. So sometimes we'll ask the customer too, hey, what pallet did you pull that information off of? Okay, well, here's our sample that we pulled off the same pallet, and you know, everything's fine on this one here. So that's really critical that we keep tracking, like you were saying. our insurance, that they, you know, we're following our process and making sure that we're doing what we told you we were gonna do. Okay, so, here's pallet 1, 2, this is small order, but, okay. All right, so, we'll go to 7 here. The quantity pulled will depend on how many pallets are run. One box from the first pallet is to be pulled and stored in the sample bin. One box from every other pallet is to be pulled and stored into the sample bin. For example, a 5 pallet order, you'll pull from 1, 3, and 5. Make sense? Okay. All right, let's go on to the next, checking glue bond.
Looks like
Machine.
whenever, every time the machine stops and goes, you're gonna have color variation. So if you stop and then start running again, you gotta monitor where that is and pull that out. Because those 2 boxes could easily be the difference of determining whether they're gonna send that whole order back or not, talking about color variation.
And that's normally what happens.
Right.
90%
So
of the time.
what you have is a running machine, right? And you say your line backed up or your strapper went down, right? You're fixing the strap. Your machine's still running. And while it's still running, it's picking up heat. The plate's picking up heat on the alcohol. So when you start running, the first 2 or 3 sheets are gonna come out darker. Either dark, the first one's gonna be missing print because the analogs can't engage fast enough. You tell it to go and the sheet comes flying through and the analogs are just engaging. So you're gonna miss, that one's gonna be a little bit too light, but the next 2 are gonna be pretty dark because they're getting all that ink off that plate. So it's very important you guys pull that sample. We had a rule back at Westrod, we pulled the bundle. We had to pull the bundle out just to make sure you go through it, make sure you get all of them and, you know, send the good ones back on. But every time you stop, you guys gotta consider, I have bad boxes now. You will always have bad boxes as when you stop.
So it also determines that as how many revolutions. If you have a high revolutions, you're gonna have more bad boxes. If you have low revolutions, you'll have the one, like you said, missing print. If it's 0, but anything above, more and more and more.
That revolution can be adjusted too, over at the pre-feeder end too, so, you know. So, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Just, you know, when you do from a stop to a start, I want to make sure that we do pull that bundle out. So when it comes through the machine, that first or second bundle that's just stacking off, we want to make sure that we pull it to the side and go through it. If you know, if you're running a color like that or a little bit lighter like this, and or even this, it'll almost look like it's black. You'll be able to see it. You should be able to see it and pull it out then and put the rest back into production. But it's important, guys. I see some pictures that these that come across because of complaints of color, and I can pretty much see that it was from a stop and start, and the guys just didn't pull it out. But once we give them something to look at, they start looking through that shit all day long. So we need to make sure that, you know, from you know, shipping to, from our end to shipping, that it looks good, and we're not setting any stuff up. Okay. Good. Name? Yeah. All right. Glue bond. Checking glue bond. Machine operator pulls 1 sample per pallet for box check. After checking color, registration slots, etc., set the box aside. After machine operator pulls the next sample and checks it, he or she is to go back to the last sample and slowly open the box at the glue joint to check the bond. Okay, simple, right? There should be at least 90% fiber tear with glue penetration. If the boxes are opening up easily, machine operators stop the machine and check the glue system to detect what is wrong and perform necessary corrective steps. Machine operators can quarantine and sort the load for glue defects. Machine operators to notify production supervisor if unable to resolve the problem. If no defects were found at the end of the run, all samples would be opened, fold them, closed again, strap them, and place them in the sample bin. The machine operator is marked on the back of the production card in the margin to the left, Blue Bond OK. Now this is a process that we're not following right now, but like I said, if you guys start disciplining yourself to follow these processes, when you write that on there, write Blue Bond OK up here for me. Because I searched this and there's nothing in here that says for Blue Bond OK. So I want you guys to get in the habit of writing it on there, on the back of this, right there, Blue Bond OK. There's an open space, okay? All right, so that is that, Blue Bond. Okay, slide angle testing. All right, have any of you done slide angle testing yet? Tony? No? Okay. All right, it says cut a 2 by 5.5 or 5.5 piece from the wine box, and where are we cutting it from, guys? So the major flap here, we're cutting it from, yeah. Cut a 2 by length flap, and then place long piece on the slide angle. There's a picture of it right here. So you're putting it on that block there, and then you're cutting a longer piece and you're putting it on there. These dimensions, okay, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We want to get it on there so that when it starts rising up, after you turn it on, when it starts rising up, it'll detach and start sliding. It'll stop after it detaches from that piece here. It'll slide and it'll stop, and it'll give you a reading. You want to do 3 times. And divide it by 3 and get your number. Put that number and your stacker, or who normally does it, a stacker, right? The stacker should be doing that for you. But I want you guys to know how to do it. So I'm glad you two have done it. Tony, I need you to do it too. But we need to know the whole process. Is that information is going to be written down in here? Okay. We've got product back because it's not from them. It's not passing.
So what these boxes do is, for instance, this is your coated one, right? They're slippery. You know, I was talking to Danny yesterday when he said boxes are too slippery. The boxes are too slippery. There's a problem. That's why we put this stuff on the flask, because when these boxes are at the bottle glass company, they get formed, and I think a lot of them get formed like this backwards, and they drop the glass in there. We just drop the glass, and this, I don't know if you guys seen a glass pipe. They're huge. So this box travels everywhere to get through glass, and it goes up in a conveyor, it goes around and comes back down. So what I saw the issue for the first time, or the COF, was our boxes were going like this, and halfway through that conveyor, they started going backwards. So that's why it's important that, and then we stop the line, and glass never stops. That machine never stops. I think they said in 10 years, it only stopped 1 time, and it was because of an earthquake, and they had a leak on the furnace. So everything's important with this wine industry. We have our boxes there in time. We don't shorten them, because if we shorten them, then a box, they still have glass support there, and they don't. Then it's waste on us. And this, you know, the COF, we gotta make sure it makes it through the lines. It's very critical.
But from the slide test, average needs and range, is there, so 25 is the minimum?
Minimum, and 32 is the max. Yep.
Now, like this one here has 41.6.
Yeah.
So that's probably what, a white top or a craft. Depending on your liners, you'll get better COFs.
So is that, what was the problem with that 7?
No, that was the UV. It wasn't cured all the way.
Oh, okay.
And that's another issue we're having with, we've had it with Treasury wines, stickiness. We have it for Visa, which is a 90,000 order, and we're trying to deal. I've been dealing the whole weekend, Memorial Weekend. I was trying to deal with Mexico, see what was the issue with that, and it's the UV's not cured. So when you stack it,
It's sticky.
it is still a bonding. So UV, when UV gets flashed, it doesn't dry. It flashes it, and it starts to harden. And even after it leaves our facility, that UV is still hardening. So when it's bonded to another box, it's gonna stick to it. So that was the issue there.
So these are all key parts of the process, and important parts of the process. So just, yeah, if you start seeing a high number, make sure to talk to us. You see a low number, you definitely want to make sure that all right, so on your spectrometer, that's right. All colors, all color printed products are to be checked against the color swatch. You guys all know what the color swatch is, right? Comes out, it gives us a nice, good color swatch that's on target. And to ensure color standards are being sustained, colors are to be checked at setup, sign off, and throughout the run. At a minimum, colors are to be checked at the X-Rock every other sample box that is pulled. First pallet, fifth pallet, ninth pallet, etc. To check color on the X-Rite spectrometer, first find the standard. So, find the standard color master program. Then, when standard is found, test the color swatch first. So that's where you find it. You'll see it on your print, your screen. You put your mouse onto that little. That'll pull up your X-Rite right there. Your color swatch. That's the one to be measured. You find your standard right there. Ed, you familiar with this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Gordon Biersch, right? This particular one, that red swatch. It was measured. That's where we were at. Good target. Must have been an Ed one right there. All right. Then you your scanning machine there, you put it over it, scan it, and that's that. Okay. You guys have all used it, right? Get familiar with it, get in the habit of okay. So now on the 7 color, your process colors, right? Only on 7. Really? Okay, and then you rarely run it, but you do run it. So to check color density, see that home screen where my finger is? That's on that scanner. You'll go to that. Density. I believe that's okay. And then you're going to measure a part of the box there. Usually it's just going to measure that white portion there on the flap. Measure a patch of that, okay? And then I actually, at this time, I was measuring cyan. It was a little on the high side, but anyway, that's that process. And you guys have that on the sheet that I gave you. This one here, the 101 review. So you guys, I definitely want you guys to get familiar with it. You know, whenever there's a moment where you guys can measure that stuff, please do. Just get familiar with it. That's it. Obviously, nothing like being out there on the floor and doing it. And I stress again, get that that important part is being, what is it that I want to say here? I lost my track. Discipline. Making sure that you're disciplined in your process. When you guys are doing it, It might be a little bit different out there, but I want you to get disciplined in following the process. Make sure that you're doing all your checks. Make sure that you're collecting your samples, you know, doing all your checks, samples, writing down, see, this doesn't have what number it was, what pallet it came off. Discipline yourself. Even if it's going to take a little bit of time, please just discipline yourself to follow that process in whatever way that you guys decide to make it easier for you, you know. Is to make sure that you follow it and do it consistently. And then you'll get faster and faster as time goes on, okay? All yours there, Daniel. Anything to add or timing?
Just like Hyman said, I mean, there's no limit to speed as far as quality goes. Quality is your limit on speed. I mean, if you can run it at full speed and the quality is there, then run it at full speed. If you can't, run it as far as you can to that point.
Yeah, we gotta hit the mind of, we just sell good boxes. It's just the product that you guys buy, whatever it is. You know? I'm sure you're not going for the damaged one or the one that's outside of the packet, right? You're going for the good product, the one that looks good most of the time. So make the same thing with our customers, especially the wine industry is one of the hardest industries to work with. So they don't reject a couple boxes, they reject entire trucks. It's critical that we get our quality dialed in and our color and a nice forming box. That's all the customer wants, man.
All right, guys. Thank you. I don't know if it's break time for you guys, but thanks. Just leave it there. I'll, make sure you keep their one-on-one trainings to look back at. Sorry, there you go. It actually went a little bit over, I think, with the questions, so. But they were all good questions, so. I'm sorry.
No, that's